basket, in a small basket. And
one here.
So we need two people to be the shuttle piece that falls away.
Oh, okay.
And you like fall out.
We're support. They are ready? You are ready? Yeah? Okay, let's start. Let's start. Come here. Come here. We start with your group, okay? So make the image.
Okay, let them come first.
Did you say motion?
No, I didn't. No, frozen image. What are they?
Una.
Five.
A vacuum. Yeah.
Wings. And the wings. You are an image, don't move. So I think that theater of the press is a kind of form of theater that lies, that not lies, that what structures theater of the press is the idea that we are all doing theater all the time. We are always adapting ourselves to the situation in which we are. We don't born as a man or as a woman. We learn how to be a man or a woman. And this learning how to act as a man, to learn to act as a woman, to learn how to act as a teacher, as a learner, as a boss, as a worker, those kind of things for theater of the press is already theater. It's something that there's not a gap between stage and common day life. There is continuity of actings. We are all the time actings. And if we act while we are doing that in our day life, if we have much more possibilities than the one that we use, that means that we can use the possibilities that theaters give us back to us to try to transform the relationships that are not only on stage but also in our normal day life. To transform how to act as a woman, to transform how to act as a foreigner, to transform how to act as a worker. And that means also to make the oppressor, the person in front of us, to transform his acting. That the boss should no longer act as they do act right now. The racists should not act as they do act. So through theater, the idea that you can transform society through theater, because society is already theater. It's not only theater, but it's already society. It's already theater. So it's one of the main things on the theory of theater of the press, is the idea that things are not as they have to be, but that we act as if they are like they should be, but that we can transform, that there is much more possibilities than the one that we actually use. So that's the thing about theater of the press, and there is many games, many exercises, many forms for doing that. I'm teaching form theater, a form of theater in which the spectators is allowed to enter on stage and to try to interfere, to try to change, to try to transform the situation that is presented by the play. Not to bring a solution, but to try to construct a solution with the people. All the people, not only the actors, but also the person that goes to the performance to see the performance.
I'm so happy that all of you have come to join us over these next 3 days. We're going to have an incredible time together. My name is Nisha Sajnani. This is my colleague and co-director, Amy Thomas. Good morning. Good morning.
I'd like the outer circle to move 4 people to the right. Just the outer circle.
Dos.
Hi, my name is Austin Rios. I am originally from all over, but call Black Mountain, North Carolina my home. Although right now I'm living in the city of Jalapa, Veracruz, Mexico.
I'm a drama therapy student, so I'm doing a master's in drama therapy at Concordia University, and I just completed my first year. And I'm taking this workshop because I'm always interested in using drama tools in a therapeutic way to see how it can make people interact with each other or help each other.
wait at the end of the workshop to clap. Can you come a little bit closer? The trick of my father. So, who knows something about theater of the oppressed? Who saw a formal theater performance recently? I saw. Can you raise more? Yeah. Who read some of the books? Who knows something about it? Who knows nothing about it? You went to my workshop last time. Yellow card. Who knows nothing about it? Only one. Okay. Okay, two. There was another person. Just to give you something, information. Do you know the etymology of the word theater? Theater. What does mean theater? I'm telling you that because I've learned that 1 month ago, something like this, 2 months ago. And I was very surprised because theater, the Greek word, theatron, it doesn't mean stage. It doesn't mean the stage. Stage is kene in Greek. Theater means to see. Exactly. It's the place where people can look at the theater. It's the place where people are seated. It's the spectators that create the theater. It's the fact that there is people gathered to look at something. That creates the theater. So in a way, the theater of the press can be linked with this kind of etymology. The fact that the theater is not something that the actors does. It's something that the spectators does. There is no light on them. While here on stage, there is light on the actors that have the right to act, to perform, to make things, to do things, and to talk. And this relationship is a relationship that exists inside of the theater, but also exists outside, where some people are allowed to speak, some people are allowed to do things, and the others only have the right to watch, only have the right to applaud or to whistle at them, and this kind of thing. So to liberate the spectator, that's the sentence of my father, doesn't mean that we want only to liberate people inside the theater. What does that mean is that outside, in the society also, there is also this kind of structure that we also need to change. More clear this time? Yeah. Theater is a rehearsal to revolution. Theater is a rehearsal to a change, a rehearsal to a transformation. It's not the transformation itself. It's going to something that's going to help here to change things outside. That if it's possible to foster democracy through arts, because there is so many amazing, very good artists that were fascists, that they were Nazis, that art is completely linkable to this kind of ideologies, completely. I don't think that that all the kind of arts are for fostering democracy. That the idea of putting ahead a big star, it's the same thing that putting ahead a big chief, a big chief. So when you make improvisation, the first thing that comes is what the people know already. It's not. I really don't believe that because you enter in art, you enter with your inner being and this kind of thing immediately. Yeah. It's not an immediate thing. It's something that that you need to put some dialectic on this. And that's why I think that form theater is very good, because all the time that the speech appears is not for the speech itself, because when somebody raises up from the audience and goes here to say, well, I don't agree with this kind of situation, it's not to free the speech, because there is somebody in front of him, the oppressor, that is going to say, oh, you don't agree with this kind of situation? I don't care, you're going to do it anyway, or something like this. So he will have to fight back. It's not something like, just free the speech to express yourself and this kind of thing, and it's okay? No, not at all. Not at all, because it's something that, it's a train for a fight. And also it's not like this, because all the other members of the audience, they will have the possibility to say, oh yes, you've done that, but it's not, it would be impossible in real life. Can you make a circle, please? Okay, let's start with a game that most of us probably know already. We can see more or less every people. It's the game that you send a clap to somebody, that receive it, and send it to somebody else. Okay, so it's like that. You are doing it very well. So let's make a second step. I'm going to send this one, and then after I'm going to send another object, and both will circulate at the same time. Both of them circulating at the same time. Clear? So the first object is like this, and the second object is and then the person receive it, receive it, and okay? Clear? Yeah? So two objects at the same time. First one is like this, and the second one is okay? So. Okay. So you are doing perfectly. So I'm going to add a third object because we are 45. So first object is like this, second object is and third object is like this. And then you send to somebody. Yeah, Brazilian football. So first object goes. So the idea is that with the forehead you follow the top of the fingers of your hypnotizer, and with your chin you follow the pulse of the hand. So if I go like this, you will have to follow me all the time to try to keep the same distance between my. So if I do this, yeah, the idea precisely go down, is to make the other assume positions that he will never assume in a normal life. Is to unbalance him. Go. So try to unbalance.
Move those feet.
To make his gravitation centers move all the time from other displays. Okay, it's clear. Yeah. So group of twos.
Not where. Yeah. Like, okay.
Not that flexible.
So now, or do you want it? No. Okay. And you use the feet, right? Okay. So I said.
Always trying to unbalance your not opponent but partner. Always trying to make him change, to make him using muscles and bones that he never used before in his whole life. Make him discover some bones of his body. Groups of three, one hypnotizer and two people following, okay? So you can make or a symmetrical movement or unsymmetrical. Only thing that you cannot make is like this, okay? Please. Groups of three.
Wow.
A single part fits all the body. Theater for social change. But what do I understand by that is maybe not the same that you do understand by that, because the social change doesn't mean nothing at all. There were people asking me about the fascist parties in France. They do want social change. They do want a lot of social change in France. So do I do. But probably not the same. And also, so those words doesn't mean that much thing unless we give more informations about that, and about also mainly about the orientation, where we want to change. Because I am the first one for this kind of thing. Okay, social change, but what's their orientation? Where do you want to go? I don't know that much. But think that the art is something superior, that's something that is not, that it's necessarily good, and this kind of thing. I do not think this kind of thing. So I think that art, yes, maybe, it can be helpful to change society. But we need to know more precisely why. And it's not because it have a magic power. It's not because it's shamanism. Art is not shamanism. Art is a social product, as there is a lot of other social products, social organization, political organization, and art is one of them.
Art, or theater specifically, is political, and there's no getting around it. Is that?
Yeah, well, even for me, yeah, it's you can say that it's political. But what I do mean by that is that it's not all the time political. There is the sentence of Walter Benjamin that say each document of culture is also a document of barbarity. What he says, what he doesn't mean by that is that there is not a transcendental sphere called art. It's immanent from society. It's linked to society. There's a lot of situations that are quite clear, I guess. There is much more than we do think, that we don't want, that we want to see them as clear as that. Because there is a lot of, it's economical, social, political rules. Nothing is apart from us. Nothing. I'm against alienation. The idea that there is strength that can be called God or economy that rules our world. No, it's men's and women's that rules the rules.
I guess I'm wondering about the role of empowerment in forums, because I participated in forums sometimes when nobody can come up with a solution that isn't magic.
The thing is that what is important is not the solution that you are going to bring on stage. That's not the important thing for me. The important thing is the reflection. There's going to be a group reflection about the problem. And yes, from time to time, yes, you have problems that you cannot solve by your own. But if the forum leads to this discovery that I cannot do that by myself, but I have to join other people to try to fight by something, yeah. What's empowerment? The empowerment doesn't come from the fact that the people can go to stage. The empowerment comes because of the reflection that all of us makes. The people on stage and people on the audience. Oppression is not the good side and the bad side. Oppression is not linked to all the workers are good and all the bosses are bad. It's not as simple as that. Oppression is a situation, it's a precise situation. For instance, the best story for that is from a unionist, very reivindicative, very good. At the same time, as soon as he returned to home, he was a bastard to his wife, beating her up and this kind of thing. So in one situation, he was the oppressed, and in another one, he was the oppressor. But, so I think that you think about this, about situation. It's not an essence. It's it's a relationship. It's to say that oppression is not aggression. You cannot make a forum theater with somebody with his hands tied, eyes with a blindfold, 12 people in front of him with the guns, the captain saying, he already say, prepare, he's going to say fire, and then he say stop, replace the protagonist, replace the oppressed. Because in this case, that's aggression, and you cannot fight in that moment. So you need to, find a dramaturgy in which there is still a solution. In which, for this example of political violence, because execution done by the states are political violence, you can go before that and to try to build up a scene in which people discuss why there should be execution or not, things like this. Why should we allow the death penalty in our country or not, and this kind of thing. In a rape, for instance, you cannot make a forum theater about a rape. You can make a forum theater about the situation that lead to the rape. That's machismo, that a lot of situations. You can make a forum theater about that, but about the violence itself, you cannot. what the spectator, when they goes on stage, will try to do is to change the strategy, but not to change the will of the person. Okay? We don't. That's also my father. We are not Jesus, says my father. We don't raise up the dead people. We don't raise up Lazarus. We don't do this kind of thing. We only can help somebody that wants something but doesn't know how to achieve this thing. Another thing about the relationship is the story. The whole story is not going to. It's going to be about somebody that wants something to somebody that could give this something that the person wants. The oppressed wants something from the oppressor that the oppressor doesn't want to give. So now the thing is that I'm going to, while you are going to make 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I will say exchange number 1. And then, let's say that you're going to start, instead of making number 1, you're going to make a sound with your voice and a movement that's going to replace number 1. And then when it's going to be your turn to say number 1, you don't say it. You're going to use the same sound and the same movement that you've done. So for instance, if it's 2, 3, exchange number 1. And then it's 2, 3, something like this. Okay. Okay? So start with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Change number 1.
2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3.
Change number 2. Change number 2.
3. 3.
Change number 3. Very good. Actually, very good. All of you understood? Yeah. Groups of 2.
3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Exchange number 1. It's okay. Okay. How was it?
Fascinating.
Why?
Hard to focus.
Hard to focus.
I forgot the number. I forgot one of them over and over again.
You forgot one of the movement and sounds over and over.
Yeah.
What else?
I thought it was easier with the movements than with the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
We forgot to make a sound. We just did move.
When it was all movement, when it was a full choreography.
Yeah. We got to express.
All of you are Britney Spears.
I would just do it at the same time, like with mouthing the sounds with her and like my body.
You want to do the same thing than the person in front of you. The demechanization of the body. What does that mean? Is that mean that Charlie Chaplin in modern times, that he have to do like this all the time? So it gives you a structure to your body. That there's parts of your body that are going to work in some way and that are not going to work in others. So the idea is to demechanize, to have not all the possibilities of your body, but to see that between the possibilities that you have and the things that you can do, there is a gap, and to work with that. Is that clear, more or less? But again, poverty is very big. It's very big.
Advertising.
Délégalisation du vote.
Légalisation du quoi?
But.
Marijuana. This one I know how to write. What else?
Biopiracy.
Biopiracy.
Yeah.
What else?
Subcontracting and outsourcing. Subcontracting.
Subcontracting.
It's like
Sous-traitance. Okay. Subcontracting.
Rent control abuse.
What?
Rent control abuse.
Rent control abuse.
It is housing.
Yeah.
That's
I just wanted to be more specific.
okay.
The attack on abortion rights is big right now.
Attacks on abortion rights.
Homelessness for reproductive rights.
Attack on abortion rights. So all those that proposed something, raise up. That proposed an idea. Raised up completely, not only their hands. Okay, so because you proposed many, more than one team, no? Only one. So come here and say one sentence about immigration.
One sentence about
yeah,
immigration?
about the problem that you want to, because immigration is a very big problem again, but what specifically?
Well, how the point system of the immigration in Canada.
The point system.
The point system, because to immigrate to Canada, you, I know this very well, you go through the point system, and the point system is quite a ridiculous one.
So if you are from Africa, you have some points. If you are from South
if
America,
you're a certain age, you have certain points. If you speak French or English, you have certain points. If you study at a university, you have certain points. If you have a certain amount of money, over $10,000, you have a certain amount of points.
Okay, so that's one of the subjects. Can you go a little bit like this?
a culture of peace through fair trade. How chocolate and coffee can change the world dramatically. And 7 principles we can talk about later. Fair trade.
So, consumerism was what I named, and there's many examples of it, but just on a sort of broad theoretical level, just the idea of how as our status as citizens or residents or people who live in this country are being eroded to, and we're being more and more, our status becomes one of a consumer, and how much we can buy and what we can buy.
Biopiracy fits in with all my other myriad interests, but basically it's corporate rights over human rights. Allows companies to patent living forms that no human ever created in the first place. Haudenosaunee people have a nice way of categorizing out living things from other things. Anywhere that has an O in the center is something that the creator made versus something that's man-made. I'd like us to find ways to speak back to the laws that allow corporations to own life, basically.
Advocating on behalf of kids and how few choices they have.
Place of kids in society in many aspects. Children being included in public places, that their behavior, the way that's accepted or not accepted. Rights of women as mothers to spend time with their children and not have to go back to work. There's tons in there.
And now, what's going to happen now is that I'm going to ask to all of you that didn't tell any subjects to go to the other people, for instance, to her if you want to work about child abuse.
Whether at a personal level or at a societal level, don't you think? Because you said you'd like to let go of titles and see how we could develop relationships without those titles. Isn't that what you're saying? Yeah.
You are part of anything else. Like you can. This group is
I'm interested in
7 principles. It's not what? Working?
Yeah. To a very long discussion, we have